Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hollywood Rack's Trail Rider Platform Style 2 Bike Rack. The Hollywood Rack's Trail Rider is a premium bike rack. It has everything you need to safely transport your two bikes with some added security. It holds bikes by their frame, which means it's going to work with a wide variety of bikes. We've got a mountain bike here, a road bike, but it's also going to work with women's and children's bikes and bikes with alternative frame styles. Here at the bottom, the cradles hold our bikes by their tires. Both the frame hook and the cradles work together in supporting our bike. The frame hook puts down pressure on our bike into the cradles, holding it in place. Here's a side shot of the cradles between the two bikes. You can see how they're separated and how they're also going to minimize bike-to-bike contact. We've gone ahead and removed the bike so we can take a closer look. The frame hooks themselves are padded. This is going to prevent any harm or scratches to our bike's frame. Now they're also adjustable along the center mast. This is what's going to allow it to work with those many different frame styles. To raise it up, you'll simply just press in on the button. When you've got your bike in place, you just push down over your bike's frame and then it's nice and secure. Now what's nice about this is it's lockable. This is where the added security comes in. This is going to prevent anyone from removing our bike from our bike rack. Once you've got it down over your bike, it includes two keys. You lock it up, remove it, and then no one can push it on the button, raise it up to remove your bike. Here at the bottom, the wheel cradles are adjustable along the platform. This is so we can use bikes with different size wheelbases. An example would be kids' bikes versus adult-size bikes. Once we've got it in place, you tighten it down with the large knob, and then we run that hook and loop strap over our wheel to secure it. The wheel cradles are worked with tires up to 3 inches wide. They are adjustable along the platform for bikes with different size wheelbases. So that'd be like your children's bikes versus adult size bikes. Once you've got it in place, you just tighten it up, and then you can secure your wheel with the hook and loop strap. If you have a fat bike and you already own the Hollywood Rack's Trail Rider, you can pick up the Fat Bike Adapter Kit with part number HRSPR-WH-F-HD. Though it doesn't tilt away with bikes loaded like some platform racks, the center mast does tilt backward with the pull of a pin so we can gain access to our rear hatch. The advantage to this is we don't have to remove the whole bike rack to load and unload our gear. The other advantage is, even if we could tilt it away with bikes loaded, we'd have to worry about tilting it back up in place again, which can be very strenuous and heavy. The disadvantage is you have to remove the bikes so you can access your rear hatch, and you have limited clearance to load and unload your gear. To me, this is a minor disadvantage. Most of the time, my bikes are already off the bike rack. Then I open up my rear hatch to remove my helmet, shoes, and any other gear I need for the trails. The Trail Rider features a shank rise of 5 inches. Not only is this going to give us better ground clearance here at the rear, but it's also going to give us a higher loading height for us when we're putting our bikes in place. It includes an anti-rattle bolt and lock. The nice thing about the anti-rattle bolt is it's going to help reduce all that play within our hitch receiver and our bike rack to make a nice solid ride for our bikes. You can see here I'm shaking the bike rack and the entire vehicle. Now the nice thing about the lock is no one's going to be able to remove our bike rack from our hitch. The lock itself is key-to-like to our frame hooks, and 2 keys are included. When the Trail Rider is not in use, the cradle platforms fold up. You'll simply remove that pin, rotate it upward, and reinsert the pin. Now this is the stowed position. As you can see, it makes it more compact. This is going to make it easier to store in your garage. But you can also keep it this way on your vehicle while you're driving around town. You'll notice that the pins themselves don't use any clips to prevent them from coming out. They actually have a raised tab that locks them into place. What you'll do is you'll line it up with the notch on the bike rack, and as we turn it, you can see we cannot get it back out until it's realigned. Now we'll give you some clearance dimensions to give you an idea of where this is going to sit on the back of your vehicle. The distance from the center of the hitch pin hole to the closest part of the rack is about 13 inches. The distance from the center of the hitch pin hole to the end of the rack is about 30 inches. For those of you that like to take your bikes on long vacations, the Hollywood Rack's Trail Rider is motorhome approved. Let's go ahead and take it out on our test course and see how it performs. Here on our test course, let's first go into our slalom. This is going to show side-to-side action, such as going around corners or evasive maneuvering. Then onto our alternating speed bumps. This is going to show a twisting action, such as going over potholes or uneven pavement. And then finally onto our solid speed bumps. This is going to show an up and down action, such as pulling in and out of a driveway or out of a parking garage. The Trail Rider has a weight capacity of 45 pounds per bike, and like all Hollywood racks, it's made out of a durable steel construction with a standard black powder coat finish. This is going to make it rust and corrosion resistant. Now that we've gone over the features, I'll go ahead and show you how to get it installed. Now it's important to note that you do need a hitch receiver to work with this bike rack. The nice thing is it can either be 1.25 inches or a 2-inch receiver. That's class 1 or class 2. You can see here how it has an adapter sleeve that goes over the shank that allows it to work with that 2-inch receiver. That can simply be removed with the included tools, and then you've got it to work with your 1.25 inch receiver. We'll go ahead and load it into our hitch receiver and line up our pinholes. Once the pinholes are aligned, we can take our included anti-rattle bolt and start threading that through here on the passenger side. Once we get that hand tightened, we can tighten it the rest of the way down. Now it uses a 3/4 inch wrench or socket, and you'll have to provide your own tools. Get that nice and secure. Give it a good shake, make sure there's no rattle, and then we can put our lock on the other side. It simply just clips in place. When it comes to loading up our bikes, it's just as easy. We'll want to drop down our trays, so we'll remove the pin and then reinsert it in the other hole. With the trays down, let's undo our wheel straps. Now the one thing that's unique to this bike rack is the center mast. We know that it folds backwards. We can use this to our advantage when loading up our first bike. So we'll pull that pin, lower it back. We'll grab that first bike and set it in place. You can see how this makes it a lot easier rather than having to lift our bike up over that center mast. Once it's in place, we can raise it back up, replace that pin, and then lower down our frame hook. Then we can run our wheel straps. From there, we'll just load up our second bike. With everything loaded up, let's go ahead and lock it. And that's going to complete our look at the Hollywood Rack's Trail Rider platform style 2 bike rack.